that, I might have to read some of it, so please excuse me for that. I'm Betsy Geiser with Uniglobe Travel Center, and today we're going to talk about the word yes. How many of you feel like all you do is say yes? So much so that you're drowning in a sea of obligations. Well, can you manage another project? Can you take on another client? Can you stay late at work? Can you go on another last-minute trip? Never mind all the yeses that you say at home. What if I told you, I don't think you say yes enough or to the right things? How about when you're asked to do something that makes you uncomfortable, something you've never tried before? Do you say yes to those things, or do you find an excuse why you can't do it? How about when you're asked to do something that terrifies you? Say, getting up on a stage and talking to 1,000 people. Would you say yes to that? Well, in my past life, I certainly would not have done that at all. I would have said no to that opportunity. And, it's pretty scary being up here, but we need to do things that make us uncomfortable. So I'm here. I clearly said yes. But it doesn't come easy or natural for me. I was asked to speak at a wedding 25 years ago. And she asked me the day of the wedding, and I said, no way. I'm not going to do it. I felt really bad, but there was no way I was going to be able to do that. About 15 years ago, I was in an event similar to this, and there was a group of host agencies. How many of you remember travel trade events? Yes, Joni, you were there. And all we had to do was get up on stage and walk up and say our names. Well, my heart's beating. My palms are sweaty. I can't do it. I'm with a coworker, and I'm like, can you just say my name? So we walk up, I wave, she says my name, because I couldn't utter any words out of my mouth. Well, I knew at that point that if I wanted to move forward in my career, I was going to have to say yes to speaking in a group. I got my butt to Toastmasters. I received a lot of encouragement. I practiced a lot. And finally, I was able to do it. Today I can manage. I still get uncomfortable. And it's a personal challenge every time. So the next time I was asked to speak at a wedding, oh, look at me. I'm way behind on my slides. I officiated my half-brother's wedding last December. So what's the payoff? Well, when I'm done, I'm super excited. I accomplished something that made me uncomfortable, and I feel a little bit braver. There are so many reasons that we're afraid to try something new. We don't want to look bad, but if we never try, we're going to lead a pretty sad life.
Do you want to make a covenant? The word is yes, Carl.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Once you leave this building, every time an opportunity presents itself, no matter what it is, you will say yes.
Yes! 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 Yes!
So now I'm not going to ask you to make a covenant to say yes. I just want you to think of the things that you've said yes to that make you uncomfortable. And now think of the things that you say no to that you regret. And next time you're asked to do something that makes you uncomfortable, consider saying yes. Remember that saying yes makes us stronger, braver, and more confident. How many of you have changed jobs or started a new business? Everybody, right? So either causes you to get out of your comfort zone. And I know when I talk to somebody that's starting a new travel business, I tell them learning travel is not the hard part. It's getting clients. Now that's the tricky part, right? You've got to go out and you've got to talk to people. Well, most people aren't born to socialize outside of their comfort zone. As children, we're told, don't talk to strangers. Don't trust people you don't know. But then as an adult, you're expected to make friends with those same people. Well, to start a business, you need to build a client base. And you need to make people like you and trust you and want to do business with you. Because if you can't talk to people or socialize, you're not going to be very successful now, are you? So when you say yes to starting a new business, you need to say yes to being uncomfortable and to trying new things. How many of you like networking? Yeah. Well, does it, for any of you, does it make you uncomfortable? No. Okay, well, there's one person. So when you walk into a group of people, how comfortable are you making those connections? She's great with it. But most of us bring a friend, and we end up talking to the friend most of the time. Me, I end up talking to the people I know for 95% of the time, and maybe 5% of the time I'm introducing myself to somebody I've never met before. Lucky for us, we can learn to be social. So I'm going to give you a challenge. What if we said yes to networking and gave ourselves a goal to spend at least 50% of our time meeting people we've never talked to before? Here we are at CruiseWorld. This is a great place to start. What are some other opportunities you have to say yes to? Some new challenges. So as an ASTA board member, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of order. So I decided a couple years ago to throw my hat in to join the ASTA board of directors. Not a big deal, right? All you have to do is put yourself out there and hope people vote for you. It kind of feels like you're in a popularity contest and you know you're not the most popular. I was fortunate. I got the seat on the ASTA board, but I knew that, I'm sorry. I knew that if I hadn't tried, I would have lost more than just an election. It gave me a chance to really learn how to be vulnerable and be comfortable being vulnerable. So everybody knows I made it. I'm on the end of my second term, and it's been a great experience. So ASTA's asked a lot of their members to step in on local issues. A lot of their fights are local state fights, and they are won with a grassroots effort. So I've seen videos, I've heard testimony of a lot of you that have gone to your local governments to fight for our industry. And I was always really glad for it because I knew I couldn't do that. I would be way too uncomfortable. I do not like to talk to politicians. And I definitely could never testify before Senate. How many of you have heard about the fight in California, AB 5? You know the IC bill, where ICs were going to be classified, and if you didn't pass the classification test, you'd be out of business. There were many host agencies also that would have been in danger, and they would have either had to hire their ICs or let them go. It was a big deal. It was a really big deal. So as an ASTA board member and a host agency manager, I had to get involved. I had to get uncomfortable, and I had to take action. So, but what if I didn't say yes to fighting for our ICs? What if I didn't get involved in lobbying? What if the couple hundred advisors in California, I'm sure some of you were out there, what if they did not go to their senators or assembly members' offices? What if they didn't pick up the phone and make the phone calls? What if they didn't send the emails? What if everybody just said no? Then a lot of people come January 1st would have been out of business. So here's a few of us at the hearing. We are testifying on August 12th, the week before we had a local lobby day. There were 15 of us at this hearing, and one of the senators, as we were talking, said, a large contingent of travel advisors was in my office last week, and you're being heard. And at that point, we knew what we were doing was working. And on August 30th, our exemption was added to the bill, and it was signed into law on early September. So everybody know that this fight could be coming to an area near you. New York is the next state up, so if you're a New York resident, please make sure that you are also getting ready to fight this fight. So I want you to think about this. What if Vicki Freed had said no to Royal Caribbean? What if Richard Branson said no to Virgin? And what if 31 years ago, Andy Stewart said no to Norwegian Cruise Line? Think of all of our industry icons and all the gifts that we've gotten because they said yes. And think of all the gifts that you've given and have received because you said yes. Well, I want to leave you with a final challenge. Next time somebody asks you to do something that makes you uncomfortable, I challenge you to say,
"Oh, yes! 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 Oh! Yes! 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 Yes!"
thank you very much, and come see us at our booth tomorrow. Have a good day.